the first Rolex experience. This is a Rolex Dayjust. What are my thoughts? What are my conclusions after having the watch for 2 months now? First, the shopping or buying experience. Still these days, stories about endless waiting lists of up to 15 years lining up for a new Rolex are still around. On the other side, people with a little more insight tell you, go to a smaller place, probably a country with low average income, you might get your Rolex without a long queue. Well, I think trying a place like a major city in Switzerland, New York, London, Paris, Rome or Munich may be a little complicated, at least as long as the staff of that local watch shop doesn't know you in person. But going somewhere upcountry to a smaller Rolex shop might be a good idea. At least that's what happened to me. I went to a shop in a smaller town, talked to the staff and could place the order right away. That was in summer 2021, long before the inflation sparked due to that war. Exactly 10 months later, I got a call from that shop and was over to pick up my watch. When picking it up, the staff was super friendly, telling me on request that as soon as one deal is done, I can order the next Rolex if I want to. But as I said, I had to ask. One order per household at a time. Probably that's why they can accept orders now and deliver with a more or less reasonable time frame. What I would never ever do is buying it on a grey market. At least not for list price or above. For one simple reason. The grey market dealers are responsible for the shortage of watches on one side, and they are the ones that drove the prices up and cut on the supply. Just to force us into their hands. No way. Better look for an AD who is selling it to you and wait. Certainly, when walking in that very store a year earlier and asking for a GMT Master 2 on request of my wife's friend, I was laughed at. This time, I was served. Whatever I heard by now, I can't comment. But I think that policy is way much better than 3 watch orders per year. Just by the way, please subscribe this channel and hit the bell. It really means a lot to me. The watch. The Dayjust and the OP or Oyser Perpetual are the most popular watches in the Rolex range, at least in terms of sales figures. My personal criteria: sturdy precise movement, water resistance to 10 atmospheres, self-winding and a date complication. The Dayjust ticks all my boxes for a versatile everyday watch. I personally like a dial with a slide pattern and for good reason something low profile. The fact that the watch has this magnifier on top for the better readability of the date window is obvious enough. For me, there shouldn't be more. Therefore, the blue fluted dial was chosen, but with a smooth bezel and the Oyster bracelet with a single polished center link. I think the fluted bezel together with the fluted dial would be too much. I think the Oyster bracelet with these edgy polished center links has a nice modern contrast to the brush outer links. More would be too much, at least for me. In my opinion, it looks cool, nice and modern and not so obvious like many other Rolexes do. The technical data. Case diameter is 36 mm, height 11.7 mm, overall mass is 124 gram. Lug width 20 mm, lug to lug 37 mm, water resistance 10 atmospheres, automatic movement Rolex 3235 with non-magnetic hairspring, accuracy approximately plus 0.7 seconds per 24 hours over 4 weeks. So it's a really low-key, unobtrusive watch, although it's a Rolex. That way it can be worn for practically all occasions. On the job, during timeout, for official occasions like weddings, funerals, or even evening receptions. This one could be worn on occasions where the so much sought after Rolex tool watches would definitely feel misplaced. The Daytona, the Divers, or the GMT Master, just to name a few of them. If you should disagree, please leave a comment. At least that's my opinion. And because it's size 36, it fits for men, women, or anything between and beyond, for adults and teenagers. Absolutely versatile. Now, most people don't buy a watch for its movement, but at least my watchmaker considers this one as the best in the market. Super sturdy and easy to maintain, usually no spares needed when this type of watch comes in for the first inspection after 10 years. Just by the way, it's used in the Submariner date too. The brand experience. There is no watch brand more discussed on the web these days than Rolex. Probably that's a part of their image, a great watch from a famous brand. The other day, when attending a party among 20-something guests, there were at least 5 Rolexes, a golden Day-Date, a steel Daytona and 3 Dayjusts, one each in gold, bicolor and steel. And while the Daytona was worn by a man, the Day-Date and the 3 Dayjusts were worn by ladies, all size 36. Looks like the 2 golden ones were bought by the owners themselves, while the bicolored and the steel ones were given to them by their husbands. All the Rolex owners were running business either themselves or together with their husbands. The funny thing is, I'm part of a scientists network. I'm sure there are members having a Rolex, but so far I have never seen one. There you see Omegas, IWCs, a SIN here and there, probably a JLC, but Rolex? I haven't noticed, although that's something I usually see. Looks like Rolex watches are typically worn by self-employed people. Looks like they consider themselves as a group, united by wearing a Rolex. Alternatives. When somebody is telling another watch is 10 times better than Rolex, probably even for half the price or less, just don't believe. No Grand Seiko, no Omega, nothing. Wearing a Rolex has something that other watches simply do not have. No, wait, there is one watch that can be regarded to be on par with a Rolex Dayjust or an OP. It's the Cartier Santos. Cartier is a very strong brand, not as strong as Rolex, but still, in particular in jewelry. Breathtaking bracelets, just for example. And that Santos is known for being the first ever pilot's watch, already in 1906. Today, with movements by JLC, it's by no doubt a luxury watch, while Rolex may be the top luxury brand. But to consider a steel Dayjust as a luxury watch, well, I would say it's a top tier premium product. Functional, sturdy, it has whatever a watch needs. But these criteria that classify a watch as luxury? Well, I don't know. At least, not the version with a steel housing. Please, comment if you like. Go to a shop and ask for a Lange & Söhne. Put it next to a Rolex, then you know what I mean. Conclusion. The Rolex Dayjust is a fine, sturdy, top premium watch with a proven accurate movement. With an Oyster bracelet and a small bezel, it looks low-key but still a Rolex in every respect. It can be worn at basically all occasions, and the size 36 can be worn by almost anybody from teenager to senior. It's the ideal watch for a one-watch collection. It should be possible to order it from a dealer in a smaller town with a reasonable ordering time of less than a year. And in particular, since it's said that Rolexes are so difficult to get, it makes you proud of having one. A feeling that almost no other watch can offer. Thank you for watching. Bye.